This is the first recipe for Christmas this year. We're making some proper honey mustard glazed carrots. They are incredibly easy to make, of course taste delicious, and you can make them ahead of time. So when it comes to Christmas Day, all you need to do is heat them up. This is everything we're going to need, simple and minimal ingredients, and all of the tools and equipment used in this video is listed below. Alright, so what we're going to need is 1.5 kilos or 3.3 pounds of carrots. You can peel them if you prefer to. For me, I'm actually going to leave them on, as well as leaving the tops or the roots on as well. And all we need to do with this is just go through and slice these in half lengthways, just like so. If you prefer to cut them another way or cut them a little bit smaller, it will speed up the cooking times. Just do whatever is better for you. And with that done, you have these nice halved carrots. They cook up a lot nicer like this, and you get that nice caramelization all over. But like I said, you can cut these any way you like. Now we are going to need about 12 sprigs of thyme, and we're going to leave this whole, but I am also going to chop up just a small amount, and this is going to be used as a garnish at the end. If you do have any woody stems, you can pick them off. You don't even need to cut them, but these are quite soft stems, so I can just chop it all up nice and fine. And if you don't want to use fresh herbs, you can use dried alternatives instead, and I'll have details about that in the description. If you have used fresh thyme though, what you're looking for is something like this. Another optional ingredient is a little bit of dill. Again, no weight, just roughly chop this up. If you are using it, it adds a beautiful freshness to the end product. We only want small little pieces that look like that. Last but not least, and another optional ingredient is some roasted and crushed nuts. These are super cheap to buy. You can get them in a small bag as well. And you don't have to use these types. You can use any other nut of your choice, and you don't have to use them if you don't want to. What we're going to do is place a large pan over a medium-high heat. Just get the pan nice and hot. While the pan's coming up to temp, we'll just add in about 1.5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Add in the carrots. Add in a touch of salt. I'm using sea salt flakes for this one. And all we're going to do is just cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes. This is going to build up a little bit of caramelization and just develop a little bit of flavor within the pan before we add everything else. And we want to keep these moving as well. Make sure you rotate them, and you do want a large pan for this application. Also, just make sure everything's covered in all of that oil as well. That way that flavor will develop properly. If at any stage the carrots start to become a little bit too dark, just turn the pan down slightly. We don't want to put too much color on them. We just want that nice caramelization to form. All right, so this has now been about 3 to 4 minutes. You're starting to get a nice little bit of color on there. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. You can start to see that caramelization. At this point, we're going to add in 3 tablespoons or 42 grams of unsalted butter and allow that to melt. 2.5 tablespoons or 50 grams of honey. This is going to add a really nice sweetness, and when mixed with that butter, just creates a beautiful caramelized flavor, almost like butterscotch. Add in 1 tablespoon or 20 grams of Dijon mustard to create that nice honey mustard dressing. And we can slot in that 12 sprigs of thyme just straight in there for that nice infusion. With that all in there, mix these around, make sure everything is thoroughly coated, allow that butter to melt, keep this over a medium heat. We don't want to put any more color on this right now. The rest can happen in the oven to caramelize. We really just want to make sure everything's mixed thoroughly, especially that mustard. Once everything's mixed though, you should have something that looks like this, and that's all we need to do for this stage. So what we want to do now is transfer the carrots and all of that sauce into a nice roasting tray, and as well as all of that thyme for extra infusion. And make sure you scrape that pan as well. That's all the flavor that we need right there. Spread these out so they're all sitting even. Hopefully you've got a nice big enough tray that they don't all clump up and sit on top of one another. If not, you might have to do this over 2 trays. We want to get that nice even caramelization all over. As well, with the thyme, you can just spread this out. Make sure it's evenly infused. Don't be too pedantic with it though. If a couple are sitting on top of the other ones, it's not going to be the end of the world, but you mainly want something that looks like this. So with that, we're going to place this into an oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit and bake these for about 30 to 35 minutes or until caramelized, that golden color has produced. You get that really nice sticky glaze from the honey and the butter, as well as that mustard. And of course, the carrots are nice and al dente. Now, once you have them out of the oven, you have these beautiful carrots. There's a really nice glaze at the bottom of the pan. That is exactly what we want. Just remove any of that thyme that we've added in there though, because it can potentially burn. At this stage, we'll add on that remaining thyme that we chopped up, or if you're using dried herbs, you can add them on now. If you're using any crushed nuts, these can go over the top too. And like I said, any nuts are really good for this dish. Finish this off with that fresh dill if you've decided to use it. And the finishing touch is just a little bit of sea salt flakes. So that leaves us with these honey mustard glazed carrots. They look and smell incredible. They have that nice butterscotch smell to them, and it's nice and sweet, a little bit savory, the perfect combination. If you do want to make these ahead of time, you can pull them out of the oven around 30 minutes or so. Don't add any of the fresh herbs or the nuts on if you are using them, and you can let them cool down, place them in the fridge, and you can do this about 3 days ahead of time. So when it comes to Christmas Day, all you need to do is place them back into the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes just to heat them up, and then you can add the fresh toppings over the top and you're good to go. there is only one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig in. That's so good. That is everything you want from a carrot. It's sweet, it's salty, it has a beautiful combination of flavors, and I cannot wait for you guys to try them this Christmas.